Kuman abo ni triswa haba ni triswa se obane she ba baban no o shebo se or the Women Development Bank e de eba na fe bank no e wanyifa o se nto ambesi na e 2026 mu no bank ne emba ye no mu ana the finance minister to force e ka se enche bia Women Development Bank no e ba wo se 400 million Ghana si na seed money omudi ashim na ukokra na ampa uko Bank of Ghana Central Bank omukra na omasase edi hujuma enche bia besa ba se afi wei enkwa se ento nkosi asa afi wei bekwa ewie ne de na Women Development Bank na bebo ade na ebo ejuma pa amanfo so ehwa hiham na se isa so hwe bank no ni mandate ankasa eba be ya ne juma potin eba be ya ebe malu na se mba titiri munye we budwa ankaka mu juma nketenkete no omuso munya loan no munya sika etumi eda hye omajumem na juma no etumi etumponti na Women Development that omu hwe se man so betumpon awo mamu atan bibia etumi akoyeti kasa to force asem okan ne se afi we ya nto asa afi we bekwa ewie no na Women Development Bank no na bebade
operated as WDB Ghana Limited. Mr. Speaker, following its incorporation, government applied to the Bank of Ghana for the requisite banking license to enable the bank commence operations. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of the capital requirement for licensing, the Ministry of Finance has deposited an amount of 400 million Ghana cedis into an account with the Bank of Ghana as the initial capital for the Women's Development Bank. Mr. Speaker, the Women's Development Bank is expected to commence 4 operations before the end of this year. Mr. Speaker, and I'll bring you to the conclusion. Right Honorable Speaker, in recent times, a narrative has emerged
ene yento ansam no so ene se na hwe no ato force no ka center Women Development Bank na but my free Ghana membership de fie na ho nsam ne de dodo na abeba ka se boy to aso no nyina mu na mbo chat trade de na morning show na ekọ ye news nya ho se reactions kakra ha ye beji wa MPC nya ho ye no so de nya bebro na wehu dia ekọ ene de ba my yento ansam no so na ye nkọ ye mampani John Dramani nchen no so no kopie mu awo Africa Union Extraordinary Summit on Universal Health Coverage and ending it no echo so conference no course won kra here no go pie mu awo hono ma na o tese obia di na no etutu mu awo Africa se ne no so ye hwe apomuden ho nsem so se ne be ya yenso no ene ya rebi embedo kro ye ne ekowia se na meku ye nkrofo enkankan HIV AIDS no asemba akwa na yare ba kwa omudi hu nkomo pa enumu ana ye mampeni John Dramani Mahama ja simpe na paso no ochiri mu se eya na Africa de bia na ye complenisa ozi de bia ma yen focus de bia awo ye challenges do na ho osi ni nyina no Africa ye boy ho modern pa ya na yen hwe yeso ye ho modern a ye bo se ne ya pomuden ho se betumi gya na so ye nka ho asem kakre ozi so wo hwe HIV AIDS na first ne pa de na wo hwe wiase nyina na Africa ha se na do so pa ozi oba Africa azef e kan no na ene uche population no oma AIDS ne tai home pa na ene 2/3 no ha se ya na wo uche miensa mienu ewo Africa hanum se enu no chere say na sisi anu ba say eso ate say hum aba 93% a chere say ye boy ho modern papa ntia ya na ye nka ho asem o say Africa ye mbo modern fe na ensi form enye esi nko anya yare do ma ka tuberculosis afi cholera eni ni nwanu ma ka ho nyina no ye fa ye ni ye na ensi form na ye tu omoso sa se na be ye betu ase deku kra no e de free continent ase.
Please, I want us to examine the books together. Our continent is still home to 2/3 of the 40 million people living with HIV worldwide. A true tragedy. But the more encouraging fact is that AIDS-related deaths have fallen by nearly 3/4 since their peak. Right there is the proof we need that when we rise to the occasion, our problems will crumble at our feet. On tuberculosis, I often hear that 17 of the world's 30 highest burden countries remain in Africa. What I don't hear as often is that the incidence is down by 28% and deaths are down 46% in under 1 decade. On malaria, not a month passes without a new song being composed about how the continent still bears around 95% of the world's cases and deaths, most of them children under 5. And the tune grows even more mournful when we are told that the changing climate escorts the mosquitoes into highlands that were once malaria-free. We can go on and on from one beat of gloom to another. For example, more than 90 million of our people live with chronic hepatitis B or C, most of them undiagnosed. Neglected tropical diseases still blind, disfigure, and stigmatize our people. And if you're observant, you'll notice that most accounts of the global infectious disease burden present a uniquely depressing African perspective. But the truth is that the face of diseases is changing on our continent. We're steadily converging with the rest of the world in the types of ailments that inflict the most harm on our people. Non-communicable diseases already claim over 2 million of our people before their 70th birthday.
Yeguso yejina apomudin ho ensem eso na conference bi bekoso wo nkrampumpuni Dreamwan we say a free and Bosume need to so do Numiasa 23rd, it goes to 27th. Our in crown say moving pe honma and a bekoso our honomo. Our crown we say a medical and dental council of Ghana. Nomode says na conference needing year 28th annual scientific conference of the Association of Medical Council of Africa. Omo and omudisa is say a beko conference because no so a apomudin ho sama. Ana omude ebe yesese so se na ebe ya yenso no omemu anu se in Africa anso yina so ya pomude won se betumi eja na so na enomo ana yensem trofo nso ebe omode ana je so oni wonu edi nkomo na we no eye registrar ana chief executive officer edema medical and dental council of Ghana na nidin a oje so eye Dr. Divine Indombi Bayabala Banyubala aha nidin anodin pa ono anode na no disem etudwa o chechire mu se na conference na be sefa kono ene de botaye ankasa a eta echire ankasa
Ghana, our beloved country, will welcome delegates from across West Africa, Africa and beyond to our beautiful city of Accra for a conference that will shape conversations on the future of healthcare regulation, and it is under the theme Responsive Regulation for Safer Communities Towards Universal Health Coverage. Now, it's important to observe that this is not merely another conference. It is a continental platform for shaping the future of healthcare regulation on our continent. Now, for the information of the general public, somebody may be wondering what is AMPOA. AMPOA may be unfamiliar with many of us, but it is an abbreviation for the Association of Medical Councils of Africa, a continental association of health practitioner regulatory authorities, particularly medical and dental regulatory authorities, councils across the continent. In medical education, professional registration, ethical practice, regulatory science, and public protection through collaboration, harmonization, and shared learning opportunities amongst member countries. So simply put, AMQUA exists to ensure that Africans can have greater confidence that those who are entrusted with their healthcare are competent, are ethical, and are accountable. And why this conference matters is that healthcare, as we all recognize, is changing at an unprecedented pace. So we have digital health technologies, we have artificial intelligence, and we have serious issues of
Mayako Ghana brashe bedwefie yetwa kase no so no na ye kom brashe bedwefie na ehonom ana enhye so brashe bedwani Dr. Steven Amwa ono so edi se bi ato abonte na o se na nse yi ana global info analytics for ede omuso ma ye survey bi ana omudi hwehwemu akumpa na omahwe na omahu se omohwe performance of MPs just say Ghana membership je fie ni nya omohwe omahoden na ofem performance omobaye dwumedi amusifa edi awo enkanka ni constituency se na omudi epuntuo mapa ede akọ ne se omukofo mo nso omohwe omana sempa na sem ne sifa tente omode sa hyehyemu no ana sa hwehwemu no hye so awo constituency ahodo na numo ana omode final results ana omode data de beto abonten na ba abonten no na o hwe Dr. Stephen Amo a o hwe a omo se tese o ka low performing MPs on no homodin kra o man 23% o mo hwe na se no ne body mo 23% but so ndu be bia 50 po wendu na omo wie na omo bo isawoma drogiri Frank anodom praba so ono ano e best performing MP our Ghana membership be the among all the 83 MPs omo se nipa 83 MPs ana omode omo yesa survey no na koba ne sa no ana Dr. Stephen Amo asa ono de on ta say so hwe dwumedi a odi enkanka ye constituency uba hono ma wo hwe ne dwumedi a wodi wo pa mpumtuo mapa o de akọ inkwala school inkwala je say wotima abo amamo nkofo be 1000 over 1000 scholarship ese omukono mukosu ademo odachi bi omo impenipa say the key to success is education and education is the key to success there and ono so ebebo no mo de amamo so no omo so makohwe na makosu ade no mutirima bobio no mutimi da bom bra and it will mark scholarship be 1000 afei laptops ahodo da mankrofo so no mo tumi de abo adwuma yie so businesses ahodo a wa support wo mo o se he nyama wa ye de o kan de beche owo community plan pa no ba nhyɛ so community plan no wa draw the 10 kwan obetuma fa so no tifa wa developing nhyɛ so ɛho keka nyina so be kapa de ene be da amade acha amade asasa biu esa se de edwuma ne de obo no homode pa obaga membership de fie kra de and the contribution the statement are all ye kwade to me set a committee our one speaker etu because yen set a committee our ye statement are making and so bono homode papa ho enti aba ne say na Musa Dankwa no executive secretary and executive director at the global info analytics so to me service no low performing MP so don't tell say enter search no global info analytics for mo ko esambra bi mo say Musa Dankwa omo fan krata no omo fan krata mbra bonte me pa ne chopa ene ne constituency for omo pa omo chow e say nyema bi say ne ha adwen pa ni tino de osere say the Musa Dankwa mo statement omo de ba bonte na data omo de ba bonte de enya papa ko very misleading and very demotivating tino on de osere say omo en retract na fe omo apologize na omo pa ne chow.
How many MPs in this country within 4 years? Ahmed Maka said, we are just deputy ministers within the shortest possible time. And you don't come as well. Oh, which may show command fund where no music, I'm a scholarship over 1,000. How many of them have provided 2,400 tables and chairs? That's a better okay. I'm training, I am training the public. How? Mujina, you can't also a episode on the plan. You call this in Naya, and this woman, MVP, but he takes the cat out of what I do in this country. It's again, you're the chair, again, the chair. Now, in any case, go here, Grandma. You need to come back to the office. Sunday, appraiser or research. So that if there's any misinformation, you go for clarification. Before say Mr. Dankonke, the conference there, it has said mistakenly and now intentionally propaganda against you. But it will not stand and hold because the constituents are only honest. Who will be also the person? But people are not the women in the have done a lot in our constituency and in this country. And on the floor, look at how I said in Shiaso in this country. Almost every day, front pages. Because of my commitment and my performance. Man, we sat down, yes, sir. And caution. The person may go beyond this. But I think, sir, you should come again and retract and apologize to me and my constituents because it is very unfair.
Dr. Stephen Amo share so brashe bedwani odina no si ye na o se de bi o wansam ni bi muka o chereche insemu e de chere central force oyi insem no baako enkanka na ejuma a wo ye anada wa ye a wo konsuensi no o chereche mu baako yi no esere na basa e de chere Ghana awo Ghana brashe be de fiem ko o friend in central force nshemu no nti no oni journalist e kasa na o chereche insem ni nyina mu ana fe de dwumedi a wodi a wo konsuensi no.
So means your problem to me data here. Can you say something here? Tables and chairs and crowd being the new henna. My top brand new Toyota Hilux as a one party insecurity. Communities are joining nine. My year is so I'm a mutu nine. I think say in Shiaso, if it's not the only constituency among the few constituencies, yes, I hear official research. I make my send them, you are send them, you work and grab where a percentage for the research sample. I almost share my way, almost good, woman, you may be in our shares. What may have to tea woman, son, to my air bear, you see a cake, you see solid DSTV, you see a bag, you have the Tomani Sanyaman. When they are not actually in China, food bridges. In fact, I'm sorry, I would do no more 100 bags of cement, 100 million organics, 200 bags of cement. And they go and check. Even now, collaborating with the mosque to build Makaranta School. When they are not in China, the core functions of MPA, me, I believe in myself. Sir, you cannot pick 5 people who are very good on the floor, who are used to care free. Dr. Subinamwa. You cannot, it's not, unless I'm a liar. You cannot, in terms of extemporaneous presentations, me official and private statement, I'm here to have. Right Honorable Babin. Do an answer, I'll say that to committee on my statement. On the floor. Can anybody say I'm maybe a low performer?
Every Ghana must be the fear now, yet why yes, some no swana, and national Identification Authority NIA and the Tano Omo Abebrifi Ghana phone na Omana Sache say Omomra no Omo de Sache Bipano Ede Aba Omomra Nambrano Amudi Jubane National Identity Register Amendment Regulation 2026 the friend of LI 2523 no Sache for Abemuna Sache Abemu said there no photocopies a Ghana card can send a man for a court ne de be check obi Ghana card omutumi ga send ye no photocopy ana ko scan fa ehun photo efa bra na je say omufa enya de ko ne efa masisi ade ye nye photocopies ni biom esansa amanfo no eyusu de Ghana card enya omo de amanfo de so na omo yusu no mo de ye nyama bi a ensen fata sisi ade biometric verification ye de be fan fidie mu na de won sa to nyama so na hwe say ayampa say you ene kwabna de okura yi no ankasa ne dan Ghana card no de koye bibia no ankasa eda kwa ni se bibi kwa no ebe chi ono ne Ghana card no ono asem na esan se we no ma hwetere ni ma hwe system na no mahu se amanfo abuse Ghana card ne pa mu misuse ne de yanyeme bia ensem fata nti no omu gina simple na paso free essential for inshemu no Minister for Interior ono aso minister in charge of national identification system no onu monyanfo Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed ano de in 72 Jana o chese o catch organizations ni ase omo nje any copy bia na say omo rely on Ghana card bia ya no photocopy say de ba no mu da ye edwuma si de bi so omo hwe obi Ghana card omo make sure say omo verification no biometric verification e de hu say you nipa no dia Ghana card no kra ne dia anase enya ne dia no ma hwe mu I establish that fact no ansa na omo de aye edwuma nche no o si we no o ka kire obi a amobi ata asafo wo ye Ghana ni so na se odo Ghana card e ko bibi no so obi say ye photocopy fabric na o se menye e fa ye say we etiambra na ye chewa task force egum enu ti no say ye chew say odi say edwuma no de na mra no e be so pa echi ne no edipa ma entie honorable Muntaka Mubarak Zemni bi odi tudwa.
To summarize the changes under this new legislative instrument 2523, 1. The ocular or visual inspection of Ghana card is no longer sufficient. Organizations offering the transactions listed under the Regulation 7 of the LI 2111 must verify identity through biometric authentication against National Identity Database, that's the National Identity Register, or through match-on card verification using devices approved by the National Identification Authority. Organizations may not request, rely on, retain, or reproduce a photocopy, a scanned copy, or image of a Ghana card for verification purposes, and may not use any biometric method other than that which has been approved by the National Identification Authority. 3. Individuals confirming another person's identity in a private or informal transaction must also use biometric verification where practicable and must not retain a copy of the image of the card or record and share the data on it, except as permitted by law or with the consent of the card holder. 4. A person who, without reasonable excuse, refuses to allow a law enforcement officer or another authorized person to scan a fingerprint on the Ghana card or take a live picture for verification commits an offense. So all these are the main changes that has come with the new airline. Indeed, these are not empty rules. Organizations that ignore these cases fine running into thousands of penalties, suspension or termination of access to the National Identification Authority Identity Verification System platform. Individuals who misuse a Ghana card or refuse a lawful verification face
Minister no esi ye no penipa ono da NIA ano the executive secretary and the wisdom kwaku deku ono so no de sen bi to dwa kire say ademra ya bai de ebeboa pa na be sanitize system ne pa hwe de ekoso a ya enyenyenyenyenye ni enyan pa amanfo no e de amanfo Ghana card ye enyime bi na ensem fata fraudulent activities bi wo no ma say enyenyenye nti we no ebemeki sure say benya robust system pa na Ghana card no so no obi etime use ne de ese na fata registration no so koso obi bia no obi anso nya Ghana card ni bi no obi anko use obi de afa ankodi bone asasa osanso kire mu say isi ano task force wo ho ya verification implementation task force no omo wo ho no ba ya te mu isi krum nti no so omba no so mbeche no say onye de enya omo ebefre amagese aba beche pa nti obi ano enye careful we ensem a penipa ono da na ya no eritudwa
obi a o Ghana card kwa koye dwumadie bia no eni kwan se institution no e ka se o Ghana card no aye copy e de ato ana se wa Ghana card ne so ahwe wanim aka se ampa una Ghana card ne ye o de entiko my transaction amount se se o ye sa ni bi ma watumra na law no says o ye sa ni bi a your 5,000 to 10,000 penalty unit abandon with within I had decided on money for a bit to do a court. I find it. Didn't know, says, you need photocopy of your Ghana card, and I share Ghana card and show when you cassette and buy a wine. Yeah, what said, and you buy metric, like cassette biometric now, even you see that said when name and answer or fingerprints, because ordinary unique feature a wall.
But the new regulation, we will address it.
New regulation, we address it for especially when Minister of Communication started with a new SIM card registration because new SIM card registration, the better say. So one year biometric, if I say you to be registered for SIM card, and yet say you show when you Niakasa a fee, you share card, Mrs. Abba, only listen to go that be and 2nd November deadline, Minister Maya. After 2nd November, another task force now every movie out with the police and the other state institutions. I'm going to run a coach and say, I'm part and run. I want to aid this one. I say, I'm on this one.
my engineer NIA asem we so na ye twa ye hombra kwaji aba fon krato mbra ye ba ka sen da aka no so no ye beto aso e de ama honum na no ho asem honum na no ho asem ana usogopemu awotema ana usogopemu awotema Easter ede onumanyafo Christian Kukubo ono no pressure yebeto no so aba say ne yi no say omeye chairman awotema Easter abato mpeso ano so say ono de o kan say o ba no o de asumdwe pa eni kabum ana o de eba o de as a party no betima ya attractive pa na amafo tumi ato aba ma NDC party no awotema East ana fe na sene nyina na esefata se party no enya nkabum bi awo ho se na bia meti makame bia be yi feel ho nemu ye nye be kan ye ho abom na ne abo adwuma den eda abo se party no be ba power 2028 na tumi age power na afa edesi ne na so enu ti no open Christian Gokobo echemu se o stress delegate no to abama no edu sa bre na omo to abama man person so a very hard work no or
you see the slot, you don't know where slot pass. You go for one way. You be like, what other executive